save Carolina basketball. He was the coach who would lead the Tar Heels back to prominence, one of the most important programs in all of college sports, and a way of life for so many of us would be restored to its rightful status. And here's the thing. It was so much better than that. Way better. We didn't know that we were about to live the best era in Carolina basketball history. Think about that. On the night that the car arrived at the Smith Center, the Tar Heels had won 3 NCAA championships out of the 65 tournaments that had been played. We were about to watch Carolina win 3 of the next 14. We had no idea that April night how good we would have it for nearly the next 2 decades. Imagine if you could have told us that evening that over the next 18 years we'd get to see Marvin's tip in and Sean May dominate and Tyler Hansbrough break records and Kendall Marshall throw passes and Marcus Page at PNC Arena and Luke May against Kentucky and redemption. And those were just the wins. They are indelible and they were cherished and they are essential to the national perception of the program. But if you ask me about these last 18 years, I'm not sure that I wouldn't remember some other scenes. Don't even worry. We're going to make it. Jumping off that frat house. Danny Green dancing. Theo Pinson crashing another press conference. Deion Thompson showing off his Roy Williams leg tattoo. Special Olympics clinics. Fast break against cancer breakfasts. Luke May getting a standing ovation in class the morning after the Kentucky game. Pick up with NBA veterans teaching college freshmen and then grabbing dinner afterward. Those who have been in sports can tell you that it is, in fact, possible to win big without it being much fun. Not these 18 years. These 18 years were so much fun. The players and the coaches and the staff members, all of them, made it way better than we had any idea it might be. And it all started and ended with Roy Williams. And I'm going to tell you something a little embarrassing. Thinking about it makes me sad. There are tears in my eyes right now because there were some of the very best times in my life, and I didn't miss them until right this exact moment because I was too worried about what might happen next. The times you think will never end, man, those are the ones that end too fast. My kids have never been aware of Carolina basketball with any other coach than Roy Williams. They think it is automatically just supposed to be this way. And I know it isn't. But as sad and uncertain it is for the rest of us, it is so happy for Roy and Wanda Williams. They lived and breathed and represented Carolina every single moment of the last 18 years. There wasn't a second that he wasn't thinking about what was best for the Tar Heels first. That's going to be very, very difficult to replace. That would be, in any case, in any university job, even more so in a head basketball coach. Just last week at Boshemer Stadium, there was Roy Williams, masked up in the stands, watching the Diamond Heels. Carolina has 4 number 1 ranked spring sports nationally right now. And you know who has helped that make possible? Roy and Wanda Williams, who funded the scholarships for all of last year's seniors who wanted to return and have a real senior year in 2021. Attending college at the University of North Carolina dramatically changed Roy Williams' life, and every day for the last 18 years he's tried to make sure everyone else who came through Chapel Hill had that same life-changing experience. There will be someone else orchestrating defenses and drawing up offensive sets, and come on, we can laugh a little, can't we? Calling timeouts on the sidelines next year. They will win games, lose some too probably, but finding someone who loves Carolina like Roy Williams, well, that's going to be tough. This is the kind of story that seems unbelievable. This is a kid from the mountains who came to Chapel Hill with the $100 his mom had given him. The money wasn't for the fall semester or his freshman year. It was for his entire 4 years at Carolina. And left with his name on the court and a Hall of Fame career. Because Roy Williams went to school at Carolina instead of Georgia Tech, we got to celebrate on Franklin Street and maybe travel to St. Louis or Detroit or Phoenix and text our Duke friends after another Tar Heel win, and hug strangers at the Smith Center and arrange family events around Carolina basketball schedules. Whether we never met him or knew him well, his path changed our lives. It seems a little silly now to look back at 2003 and think that we believed we were just getting a basketball coach. He kissed mid-court after the win over Duke in the regular season finale, and maybe then we suspected. Part of Williams' love for Carolina was knowing that when it was time to come home, and maybe a tiny little bit of it was knowing when it's time to leave too. Because of the world we're living in right now, we can't have a crowd at the Smith Center to send him off the same way we welcomed him in 2003. But if we did, they'd be screaming the exact same thing they were 18 years ago. We love you, Roy. Oh, and one more thing, something I haven't said nearly enough, and something we'll likely feel even more strongly in the days and weeks and months and years to come. As we think back on how incredible this entire experience has been, thank you. I think there's no better word to describe what Roy Williams has done for Carolina basketball, the Carolina basketball family, for the university as a whole, than thank you. I say on here all the time that there isn't a greater ambassador, not just for Carolina basketball, but for the university than Roy Williams. And I'll go down believing that until I take my last breath. No one loves Carolina, lives Carolina, is Carolina more than Roy Williams is. And that's what makes the fact that we've got to embrace him not being here that much more harder. He is the epitome of the American dream. He made it happen. And it all started at a special place with special people that he made even more special. And, you know, we got into Carolina basketball a lot like so many other fans. He's our Dean Smith. Dean Smith is to what my dad is to what Roy Williams is to me, to you, my little brother. Our perception of Carolina basketball starts and ends with that man on the sidelines. And now we've got to embrace seeing someone else be that representation of Carolina. You look at what he's done as a basketball coach in Chapel Hill, the numbers speak for themselves. You won 3 national championships in 14 years. You went to 5 Final Fours. You won your 500, 600, 700, 800, and this year 900th game, all at Carolina. And everything about his career always felt right. There was never a moment, even when we were going through the mess with the NCAA, there was not another coach I'd rather experience that with. And we all know the torment that it put us through as fans, not knowing what was going to happen to what we believe is the best basketball program in the sport. But I know if we ever had to do it again, it won't be the same because we won't have Roy Williams leading us through such a tough and trying time. And I don't know. You have anything else to add, buddy? So with that, guys, you know, we got a lot to get to in the coming days, coming weeks, coming months. And we'll be here for every step of the way. I've already got you covered on the HeelToughBlog.com, and we'll go ahead and plug you there, right there. Get over to the website where I've got an article up about Williams' retirement, and for right now, for today, and for tomorrow, we're just going to celebrate Roy Williams and what he's done, what he's meant to us as fans, what he's meant to this program, what he's meant. And when the time is right, we will address where Carolina basketball goes from here. But that's not going to happen today. And it's not going to happen tomorrow. But when the time is right, I promise you, as hard as it will be, we will have those discussions. So go to the website, HeelToughBlog.com, to get your latest fix on Carolina basketball, Carolina football, and some Carolina baseball. And last, we encourage you guys to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. You can find us on every major podcasting feed, most notably Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Podcasts. Give us a like, review me as your host, review Anthony as my co-host. But we want you guys to subscribe, that way you get every podcast in your podcast library. Well, with that, I do want to thank Anthony for coming on to talk about a very sad day, a very hard day for all of us who love Carolina basketball. We want to thank you guys for listening. And as always, go Tar Heels, and thank you, Roy Williams.